one.
Hello, we are back. We are doing our Mary Mantle's consecration. We are doing this beautiful consecration to Mary. It takes 46 days to do it, which is 46 stars on her mantle. And today's star is the star of detachment, the 29th star.
And we're going to be suspending our book club um, until we're done these stars, because it's just getting to be too much. So we'll restart book club as soon as we're done the 46th star. It won't be that long.
No, we're on 29, so
Yeah.
that's around the corner.
Yeah.
And today's your turn, Hen, so whenever you're ready.
Oh, I thought we were going to do half and half, but okay.
We we
Okay.
can if you want, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
why don't you do some
do.
and then
Okay,
I'll do some, because it's a long one.
okay. Detachment. We live our first years of human life learning how to attach to people and things. The happiest and most well-adjusted children first attach themselves to at least one loving caregiver, as if that person were their own body. To eat, the baby latches onto the mother's breast or a bottle. To find comfort, the child cries until she is picked up and cuddled. Through trust and dependence, this attachment ideally continues. From a young age, we discover that certain things, both within and outside of ourselves, please us and give us a happy sensation, and other things strike us as unpleasant. To navigate the physical world as toddlers, we reach for and grab objects, becoming attached to our favorite ones, hence the beloved blankie. Hence,
We put unsavory objects in our mouths and spit them out with distaste. Naturally, we grow to savor the things we enjoy, even some of our own personal traits, and we become possessively attached to them. When those things that are pleasurable to us are threatened or in danger of going away, we become distraught. Suddenly, fear, which discharges aggressive energy in defense of the threatened possession, seizes us, and war is born. The only way to win this war is through holy detachment. Unwelcome lessons in detachment have followed us from the moment we were painfully expelled from the womb, our warm and familiar first home. We entered this world crying. As babies, we felt that our caregivers were physical extensions of ourselves. So it caused us tremendous inner conflict when they did not come on demand, comfort us properly in our wounds, or supply the right kind of food at the right time. Through disappointment and struggle, we learned that what we thought was part of ourselves was a separate entity with its own mind. Thus began a lifetime of lessons in the virtue of detachment, culminating in the release of the last attachment of all, the attachment to our very life. St. John of the Cross tells us that freedom from all attachments, even the smallest, is necessary to attain divine union, the highest goal of every human soul. Attachments, he says, can range from serious sin to seemingly harmless preferences. Some examples of these habitual imperfections are the common habit of being very talkative, a small attachment one never really desires to conquer. For example, to a person, to a clothing, to a book, or a cell, or to the way food is prepared, and to other trifling conversations and little satisfactions in tasting, knowing, and hearing things, and so on. As long as this attachment remains, it is impossible to make progress in perfection, even though the imperfection may be very small. It makes very little difference whether a bird is tied by a thin thread or by a cord. Even if it is tied by thread, the bird will be held bound just as surely as if it were tied by cord. That is, it would be impeded from flying as long as it does not break the thread. Admittedly, the thread is easier to break, but no matter how easily this may be done, the bird will not fly away without first doing so. This is a lot of those who are attached to something. No matter how much virtue they have, they will not reach freedom of the divine union, the ascent of Mount Carmel. The priest in our retreat said fasting is the best way to learn detachment. And so I pulled this up, and I'm also putting in the links because I looked at this yesterday to see how long it was, because I wanted to share a couple things. But this Ascent of Mount Carmel is on EWTN. It's a little long. And then also it's on YouTube, the whole audiobook. It's by John of the Cross. And so he's a doctor of the church. So it's a really good uh audiobook on Mount of Carmel, the Ascent of Mount Carmel. So so that's the best way to break attachment, is like going to a silent retreat, which was good for me because I even though I'm alone a lot, when I am with someone, I do talk a lot. So silent retreat was perfect for me. And it really got me into prayer, back into prayer the way I should have been, because it was a constant prayer. We were, the chanting was really fun. I wish I would have taped some of it. But so that was good. And fasting, he said, was the biggest way to break detachment. But anyway, so today, or do you have anything on detachment, Jeanette?
Well, we all have our things. We all have our little things we do too much of, and we all have our little things we have, and we need to little by
Spending,
little remember. Yes, spending. We have Amazon. We have, for example, a certain thing you
emo.
like to watch on TV. Me, my K dramas. It's always something that we're attached to, and also things that we enjoy to do that we shouldn't be doing. And sometimes it's okay to do them to a moderation, but sometimes it goes overboard, and we return to our child cycles, mentally. So that's why it's so important for discipline in our lives. It's so important um, to have a routine, also to have discipline, to have a routine, and to pray often about
Mm-hmm.
guidance, and following what we are praying and what we are reading and what we are studying. When we open up scripture daily, they have a beautiful homily every day, guys. If you can't get to church, you can always look it up on YouTube, or you can look it up at your church. There's tons, or you can go on Hen's site and her Facebook. She always posts beautiful readings every morning. And
And
so if you,
EWTN is the
Mhm.
best. They have the
Oh
best
yes,
homilies. The
yes, you can.
best homilies.
They have masses 2 or 3 times a day, and they're also on YouTube. If you're driving or whatever, you can listen to a mass, and you can listen to the homily. Especially Father Mike's homilies are amazing. I love them.
No.
And also Bishop Barron, and there's a lot of others that if you have a favorite, you can just subscribe and listen to the homily, and that will give you what you need to do your Lectio Divina. You need to ponder during the day, and the readings will always help you to get back on track, because
Yeah.
they come straight from the Bible, and the priests are always so kindly trying to get us back to the spiritual and away from the worldly. So
Today's was really, you know, it was a little confusing, which is why I like to get the commentary, because I'm like, why would Jesus say the fig tree, when he knows it's out of season, that it wouldn't have fruit? And so today, if you read my post on it, the theologians explain that, and it's a good explanation. I'm not going to give it away. It's a spoiler alert. So it's it because it was always like, well, why, when he knows the fig tree is out of
Yeah.
season, is he saying you will never fruit again? Has to do with Israel, but it's really good. So go look at it.
Yes. Yes.
But
And
anyway,
even if we know the stories and we've heard it 1,000 times, we still
it's a
need to
living word.
re-listen because there's always something in there. Because your personal experiences and your trials in life change from day to day. And the readings might not reach you one day, but the next day when you're going through a specific kind of trial in your life or suffering or whatever, the readings will get you because they speak to you straight from God. So it's
They will
very
get you
important.
every day. They'll
Yes,
get you every day if you focus on it. If you
yes,
do Lectio Divina, there will be one word in there that will, because Lectio Divina, I'm learning so much about it. And you do it 3 times, slow, slow, and slower each time. And you could focus on just one word or just one phrase. It doesn't have to be on the gospel. I choose for it to be on the gospel because I'm trying to stay up with where the church is, because I feel like that's God is working through that. And there's always going to be a word in there that is going to touch you. you know if you do the Lectio Divina, it really does
yes.
work. It's shocking how it works. But so today I wanted to share this real quick. I'm going to put it below. We can't read the whole thing, but I couldn't believe it. Beautiful music melody hidden within Our Lady of Guadalupe's image. They took this,
Ah,
yeah, they took the stars and they mapped it, and a mat a mathematical accountant, and I've watched a lot of near death experiences where um they say that all music is playing at one time on the other side, every song ever, and it's all glorifying God. And and mathematics, some people will come back able to do mathematics, high level mathematics, though our universe is based on mathematics. So mathematics and music actually tie together according to all of this. So read this article, because the stars in the mantle are constellations in the sky at the time that this happened. And the main hills and volcanoes and orography of the whole image keeps the golden ratio. It has perfect symmetry. Therefore, it has music. So they where there is perfect symmetry, there is music. And God created this world in perfect symmetry. Everybody thinks we have to take care of the world. God knows what he's doing. Yes, we have to be responsible and all that, but God has made this sustainable. He knows what he's doing when we trust him, when we don't think we have to solve all the problems. God knows what he's doing, and he'll give us the answers. So then here it says, he considered that each star, according to its position, and each flower center, according to its position, was a certain musical note. He placed the image inside the drawing in the golden rectangle. A musical expert then superimposed the drawing of a piano and documented the notes expressed. And then if you can go to this, and you can here's the model that where they discovered the notes. And then you can go and listen to it here. When you look at the article, you can listen to the beautiful thing they actually put it together. So I wanted to share that. And then this other thing real quick, because we're doing the mantle. Mexico unearthed, this was in 2020, unearthed the missing 10-ton Our Lady of Guadalupe sculpture that was blessed by St. John Paul II. There was a Hurricane Hannah, and it got unearthed, and I think it went into the ocean, or not in the ocean, it went into the river, and they couldn't find it. It was lost for um it was lost for, I don't know if it was 10 years or whatever, but it was lost. And there's actual footage of it being pulled up. They were looking the wrong way. They knew it went into the water, but it actually was in the other way. So it was upstream instead of downstream. And they said that was very unusual. It was in the riverbed for 10 years. And it says the statue was buried in the river for 10 years. It was discovered the day the Virgin Parents sent St. Anne and Joachim, and just days after Mexico's voted against abortion being legalized in all of Mexico. So, yeah, I thought that was just so beautiful. So I wanted to share those articles. And there's another, was that the other one? Yeah, there's another article on the musical notes, which is basically the same, but it's just, coming a little bit different. So I put them both in there so you guys can look at them in the links below. Jeanette, I wanted to take just a few minutes. We're not doing book club, so if we can do a few minutes extra so that hopefully Facebook will pick this this. What else about detachment? We'll get back to detachment. What do I have to detach from junk food. I love candy. I love candy. Oh my gosh. Jeanette's house is full of candy, and she doesn't care about candy, but I would
I
be
don't care
dying.
about candy. I like
I would
bread.
be dying. I would be dying.
But
Oh,
I like bread.
yeah, yeah. My son always says, "Is that a bread belly or a beer belly?"
Well, the reason why I have it here because at 7 o'clock I have to take my antibiotic. I got a little infection in my body, and I got to take an antibiotic every now and then. So I
Yeah,
have to take it with food because it really messes up my stomach. So that's why I got the
yeah.
bread, guys. It's not that I have it with me all the time. I would pop a slice, just of something in my mouth so I could take
But you are always making bread.
my antibiotic.
She
Well,
is always
yeah,
making bread, though.
a form of bread. Like yesterday, I made milanesas, which everybody's favorite. So my girls are coming over. My girls don't come over often,
So you
but
cook.
when they know that I make their favorite dishes, then they're like, "Oh, mom, you better not eat them all. I'm coming tomorrow to get some." I'll be seeing my girls thanks to my milanesa, the mashed taters, which
What
milanesa
is it?
well, milanesa, it's a very traditional Italian dish because it started in Milano. That's why it's called milanesa, Milan.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's just they're just very thin. Here we call it, what do we call it here when we go to an Italian restaurant? Um, veal parmesan or whatever. You know how they make
Oh,
it very, very, very thin, and they bread it. The meat. Well, I use chicken because chicken is a little more tender than the meat for me anyway. If not, I have to use filet mignon. I can't afford that. So we do chicken. So I cut the chicken like the
you
chicken
don't
breast.
eat chicken though.
I don't. Everybody else does. I cook for my family. I don't cook for myself, guys.
But what do you eat when they eat that?
Whatever's in the fridge. Maybe. Well, yesterday I had an egg sandwich. I eat eggs. So, but yeah, I don't
So
care.
it's just a thin piece of
No,
the of
yeah,
chicken.
the chicken breast, one breast, you know how thick it is? Well, I cut it in three. I get a little fillet,
Oh,
very thin knife, and I cut that in three pieces.
wow.
And then I kind of mash it a little bit, and then I put it in breadcrumbs, seasoned breadcrumbs, and I season my eggs, and I run it through the egg, and then I run it through the breadcrumb again, so you got a nice thick crust on it, and then I fry it quickly. You fry it quickly, and then I bring it out. I make sure it's drained well, and then you can either eat that plain with mashed potatoes we eat, and you can put some gravy on the taters if you want. I don't. And then Or, the next day, like today, there's leftovers because I made a big tray of chicken that I buy. So I made like, I don't know, 30 of them or 40 of those little thin things. And
Wow.
yeah, I make a lot of them and they last a couple of
30 or
days.
40?
Yeah, because that's how many you get if you get a big tray. I get a big tray at Sam's. The big tray at
Well,
Sam's,
are they
just,
small?
just chicken breasts. They're about that size, but they're
30 or
very
40?
thin. They're
How
very
many?
thin.
Oh, they're very thin. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and the tray of chicken at Sam's has at least like 13 chicken breasts or something like that. The
Oh,
big
okay.
tray of Sam's, and it's only $20 for a big tray of chicken breasts. And so I
Right,
make a lot of them because we put them in sandwiches,
right.
or they put a little bit, sliced tomatoes and mozzarella, and you make the
Geez.
parmesan with the side of noodles. They're in my fridge a couple of days. I make stuff and I make a lot of it. Like I make burritos, I make a lot of them. I make a
And
lot of
does your
things.
mom eat that? She eats
Yeah,
it?
my mom.
She eats meat?
Yeah, my mom eats meat. Yeah, my mom eats them. If they're just barely fresh, she won't eat them if they're in the fridge overnight, which makes no sense, but whatever. She doesn't like to eat leftovers. Um, but my other kids love them, and so that's why my others are traveling to get some. They're like, I'm bringing some home. And so
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, I don't know
And
why
now
I'm talking about food.
when you go away, you're gonna like put stuff. I just have to make egg and stuff, right? It's simple stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom's very simple. I just make her an egg sandwich, or I make her like a veggie burger one day. The next day, I'll make her a turkey sandwich. I'll have everything for her. But
It'll
my
be terrible.
husband's taking a week off also when I have surgery. The only thing I need help with is her bath time. That's it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when you do go for the wedding. So
The
I was
wedding, yeah, that's a different story. Then you'll have my mom 24/7.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna be feeding her?
Yeah, but that's
So
gonna be a
and
while. There's
by
no
then I'll
plans
know
yet.
about the baths, by then
Yeah,
I'll have done the baths, so it's good that that's happening ahead,
yeah,
because at least it won't be like I'm doing everything brand new. It'll just be making the food, and I already
yeah,
know how she likes her bath. I'll know how to do the way you do it.
yeah. Thank
But
you. That
anyway,
really helps out a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, guys,
yeah.
if you
Well,
freaked out when I said surgery, it's only my nose. It's something very simple. I still
yeah,
do have to go under anesthesia and all that stuff, but it's like a
that's the
rhino
danger.
thing. They're gonna be clearing out my sinuses because they got really bad and they got an infection up there going on. So they gotta go in there, and it's kind of like a nose job. That's what it is. A nose job, but it's not to have a perfect nose, it's to get taken
Well,
care of.
tell them to do a little plastic surgery while they're there. Say, make
No,
me
I like
pretty.
my nose. It's the only thing I like about my face is my nose. No, no, I like
Oh,
my nose.
well, Jeanette was a model, if you guys don't know.
When I
She
was very
was,
young, things
yeah.
changed
You
big
should
time
see
after.
those pictures, boy. Woo! Anyway, all right, guys.
Anyway,
So we have to detach from food
yes,
and spending. Mine's food and spending. Timu. I gotta stay away from
me
Timu.
it's Amazon. So
Amazon and
also
Timu.
the rosary. Don't forget the
Oh,
rosary, guys. That's
yeah.
important to add the rosary to your daily routine somewhere. Add that rosary.
Do you know how hard it was to give up buying during Lent? That was hard. I got to do that all year because I buy too many books. My addiction is books, books, food and books, both of
Me,
those.
me lately it's the thrift stores. I like to go and find a
Oh,
lot of goodies. And the problem with that is I end up buying too much. And yeah, and then I have more clutter in my house I'm trying to get
I'm
rid
lucky.
of.
I live in a teeny tiny house, so I know I can't go to those places. So that makes it easier for me. I can detach. I'm detached. When it's time for me to go, I'm ready, honey. I'll miss my kids. Not I won't miss them, but you know what I mean. I'm worried about them. So anyway, do
Bye
your
guys, have a
rosary,
blessed day.
guys. We'll start restart book um club after our 46 star. Bye.
Bye.